Am I the a-hole for changing the wedding venue my fiance chose to something more flashy as a surprise? I, 25 male, am marrying 24 female this coming October. We both have very large families, but hers is really poor and kind of traditional. As a result, my fiance has been taught to always go for the cheapest option throughout her life, whether we are going out to eat or buying clothes or going on holiday. We've been planning the wedding, and the choice of venue was typical for her, a small local church where she was christened. Right off the bat, the place isn't suitable for the number of guests who will be invited, and I know she only chose that location because of money, which is not an issue. I spoke to my father, and he agreed to fund a wedding abroad in Venice. I'm their only child, so getting married is a big deal, and to arrange transportation for all the guests. He agreed to cover all expenses. So obviously, I changed the venue and sent out invitations. I knew the money spent would make her anxious, and she always has dreamed of visiting Venice, so I wanted to wait to tell her until it was organized as a surprise. I feel like you could have also done that for the honeymoon though. Like, I don't know. She didn't take it well, and she said I was a massive a-hole and that she had much preferred the church venue. Right, because it was meaningful to her. She said it was too embarrassing to cancel it now and that I've told people, but seems really mad. I'm confused since that venue was never practical, and I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole here or if she's overreacting. Again, if you wanted to do all of this, you should have told her. Not after you booked everything so that she didn't really have a choice. You invited literally everyone except her. Everyone knew except her. I genuinely feel like money doesn't necessarily matter to her, and like this was a place where, you know, it had some significance in her life, and if you wanted to go all out, you should have talked to her about it first.
Before booking everything, I would have just been like, I want to do this, and here's how we're going to make it work, and let's do it. Also, like, the romantic in me is kind of like, wouldn't that be so cool? I want to do something really special for someone.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I see, like, it could be misguided generosity, and I'm not condoning the fact that you should ever do that, but, like, there's a romantic in me that's like, oh, that's, like, really sweet. But not telling her until, like, seemingly, what, a week before? Or, like, maybe even a month before? Can you imagine? You gotta tell her, man. You gotta talk to her. But yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about, like, what do they always say? It's the bride's wedding, not the groom's.
Where you're getting married is super, super important, and, like, the location is important, and this is something that you need to discuss as a couple, not surprise them. You're the a-hole. You gave her no say in any of it. You picked a venue, picked a different country, scheduled for a date, made the guest list, chose the invitations. Maybe she chose the church because of personal meaning. Maybe she chose it because it was cheaper. The wedding should have been planned by both of you, which means if you didn't like the venue, it's fine to say no. Try to find a venue you were both okay with, something bigger, more options, but still relatively local. Did you even confirm that her closest family would be able to make it? Even if your dad pays for all travel expenses, not everyone can afford to take off work or can travel that far. How soon is it? Are you in the EU? Is her family not well off? And you live in the US. A lot of them probably don't even have passports.
There's a lot of factors here. Like,
there's a lot of things to consider, and like, yes, it's a nice thing that you're doing, but at the same time, it's like sometimes people just can't go all the way there. We've learned that. Sometimes people just can't make it work, and a big factor is like not being able to take time off. OP is possibly showing his incompatibility. She values family and tradition, and he values riches and flash. Things might not work out unless he can compromise, unless they both can compromise.
Yeah, I don't agree with that comment.
Yeah. You don't agree with it?
It's not that they're incompatible. They just come from two very different backgrounds. We don't have enough context to say like he's an asshole for being like this rich guy who wanted to do everything. Like, again, the romantic in me is like, maybe he just thought this would be like a nice special grand gesture. Maybe she always wanted to get married in Venice. Mm-hmm. Like, we don't know that. And like, that was her dream, but she couldn't afford it. Or maybe they could somehow put money together to afford it, but she just didn't want to put everyone through that. So she picked something local that was meaningful to her.
Mm-hmm. But those are valid reasons to pick the place that she picked.
What I don't like is that he surprised her and booked it without her giving approval. That is what I don't like. Part of me is telling me that like it comes from a better place than we're giving him credit for.
Okay, so do you want this guy or what?
Let's keep going through comments. Maybe I haven't heard enough yet.
Maybe you haven't heard enough opinions to sway your opinion. You're the a-hole. A marriage is supposed to be a partnership. You operated completely behind her back, then revealed it once it was a failed fait accompli. How can you be confused about her reaction? You think you sent the message, he's willing to get his parents to do extravagant things for us, or if you didn't, tell her it's daddy's money. He's willing to spend so much to give me nice things. The message you actually sent is, he did not give one benighted about my feelings and desires. He's always going to make huge decisions behind my back. You'll be lucky if she doesn't call it off. Reddit kind of decided that he was an a-hole.
I'm always just trying to understand people a little bit more. I think that like he's an a-hole, right?
Yeah,
He's an a-hole. You should never do this without the consent of your wife or fiance. Maybe he had his parents in his ears speaking like, we're not going to that church.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's part of it too.
But that's also something he should have discussed with her.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
all of this
no,
could have been
that's
solved
why I'm
with,
saying like
just a discussion.
he's not coming up here. He's an a-hole because he
okay.
didn't talk to his wife about it.
Come to mama.
That doesn't mean he's a bad person and that he's trying to, like, again, more context, like maybe it was something romantic. Maybe they talked about they always wanted to get married in Venice. So maybe that's a little key part of information. Anyways, I'm done. I'm trying to be holy. I'm trying to be holy, but I keep getting holes poked in my holiness.